Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're having an amazing day. As you can tell by the title, this episode is number 30, which means that I have come out here to talk to you for the past 30 Sundays. And that is a crazy concept to wrap my head around because that is more than half a year of Dirty Martini. And when I saw this episode coming, when I saw the number 30 approaching, I originally wanted to create a special episode to make a really meaningful episode to just, celebrate this achievement. But then I thought, I have been producing a lot of emotional content recently, and a lot of deep talks have been had, and I just want to rest for a week. I am already struggling enough emotionally in my day-to-day, and I come on here to open up, to share with you, to use this platform as an outlet and feel lighter. Which is the way I feel after talking about the things I talk about every single week. But sometimes, in the middle of all the emotional storms you find yourself in, you just want to simply exist. Maybe it is not necessary always to address every single thought I have had and every single feeling I have potentially felt. Maybe it is okay sometimes to just let them be, to let myself feel my feelings instead of hyper-analyze them. That's why, preparing for this episode, I decided to put all the emotional things to the side for a second and just let myself talk about the silly, mundane things that I have had to deal with recently. I want what makes this episode special to be the fact that it is just a hangout. I want it to just be a quick catch-up. I want to laugh about whatever and just enjoy my time here with you. Recently, in every single aspect of my life, I have been putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself to perform, to excel, to be better, to do better. And today, I don't want to be a better version of myself. I don't need to be wise and intact. I don't need to be emotionally conscious right now. I just need to be me. I need to be myself. And honestly, what a better way to celebrate the Dirty 30 of Dirty Martini than just by yapping about whatever. So let's just blow off some steam and have some fun. What has been going on in my life? Well, the first thing I want to share with you is how I am beefing with a pigeon. It used to be pigeons, but now it is a singular one. I'm not sure if I have mentioned this story before, because I've told you before, after I record these episodes, my mind just goes purely blank because I feel like when I record, I just enter this different dimension, and after I press the stop button, I have no clue. Like, I've completely blacked out and I don't remember a single thing I have talked about. So if I told this to you already, enjoy this recap. And if I haven't, just enjoy the story. So let's rewind back to March-ish, I think. So when I came back here to my current place after my exchange, I noticed something on my balcony. So basically, on my balcony, I have this one wardrobe-like piece of furniture, but without a door. Well, it does have a door, but the girl who lived here before me broke the hinges. She quite literally yanked them out. So now the door is just behind the wardrobe and is simply unusable. And originally, I didn't see a problem with this because the thing is, why would I need a door? Because, okay, I have put in every single shelf either a suitcase or a massive cardboard box that fills up the space entirely. So there's no like dust going in, no nothing going in, because they are fitting together like a glove. And the thing is, I have put my biggest suitcase on top of the wardrobe because it just simply doesn't fit in the separate shelves. But it fits perfectly between the top of the wardrobe and the ceiling. There's just like a 10 centimeter, or like even, I don't know if it's even 10 centimeter of a distance between the end of the suitcase and the ceiling, which means that my suitcase being on top of the wardrobe is not being protected on the sides or on the top. I mean, it is, but not as much as my other things, which are in the shelves. And there is not going in and out, like as I already mentioned, like no going in and out of that shelves unless you remove the stuff from the shelf. And also, it is important to remember, my balcony, even though it is an open balcony, has a roof-like thing. So even when it is raining, no water goes in. Now, the thing is, it never bothered me to not have the door because I simply didn't need it because, again, for the third time, my stuff filled up the shelves perfectly and they were protected from whatever weather conditions. Little did I know that the rain would be the least of my concerns. But pigeons would be the bane of my existence. So back in March, I started hearing noises. And no, I'm not schizo. Or at least, I don't know. But like, I started hearing noises. You know, whatever noises pigeons make. But like, I would hear them constantly. Because, you know, it is normal for a pigeon to chill every now and then on the railing of your balcony. My besties, however, had taken it a step further. So what I came back home to after my exchange was this entire family of pigeons who had started nesting in my cardboard boxes and my suitcase, and especially the big one that was on top of the wardrobe. I genuinely have no clue how they got to the cardboard boxes, because if I mention it 3 times, I'll mention it a 4th time. There is no space. Like, how? But you know, I gotta respect the dedication. However, as cute as it is for PETA, and as much as it helps those pigeons hide and nest in a dry spot that is protected from all weather conditions, it is quite annoying, as you can probably imagine, when you're no longer able to get your stuff because it has been occupied by pigeons. And what is even more, everything, and I mean everything, had been shitted on. Like, not a single spot of my suitcase that was on top of my wardrobe was clean. And that suitcase was already going to be retired because one of the wheels is broken and so is the handle. And I just cannot travel like this anymore. But now, this hit the nail on the head. Because the thing is, it is a fabric suitcase. It is not a plastic one. And you know, the fabric ones, I fear it is common knowledge, but the fabric ones are more difficult to clean. Because like, you cannot fit that into a washing machine and you have to wash it by hand. And I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, so that family was there. They were nesting, but they have, they started to occupy so much stuff to such an extent that if I opened my window, they would become so aggressive. let alone if I wanted to go out and actually enjoy my balcony. And here's the thing. I love animals. There's no denying this, but this had to be stopped. I tried for weeks to scare them. I tried to scare them away, but I don't know, just by rapidly opening my window and simply yelling at them because that would do the job. And I would just yell at them, get out, get out. And that brought no result, as you can imagine, because pigeons don't speak English, or at least Dutch pigeons don't speak English. So I took the next step and I took the wall from behind the wardrobe and put it in front of the wardrobe to block any access to the shelves. And the next few times the pigeons came, they were obviously annoyed at me. I mean, I would be annoyed at myself as well if someone was trying to evict me from my place that, even though it wasn't mine, was now mine. Anyways, the housing situation in the Netherlands is not pretty. But yeah, they were annoyed at me. And don't worry, before you say anything, I checked if there are any eggs, and they hadn't laid any, so I wasn't taking away their potential babies. And eventually those pigeons gave up and left. The problem is that one of them came back a month ago, or at least I noticed him a month ago. It could maybe have happened over the few weeks that I was back in Bulgaria, because that evil, conniving bird noticed that there is no movement in the balcony and thought, well, it's mine now. And before I proceed with my story, I just want to say something. Before anyone says anything, before anybody says that that's nature and co-speed on me and blaze me for what I have done, I just want you to remember, this is my home. I pay rent. I take care of everything. And if I pay for a balcony, I will use the balcony. I will not let a pigeon take away my territory. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap that they crapped all over. So I came back here a month ago and I started hearing the sounds I was hearing back in March. And no worries, they did bring back war flashbacks. And the thing is, this time, because since March, the unhinged door is in front of the wardrobe, so access to the shelves, as mentioned, is absolutely restricted. So this time, this stupid pigeon had taken over my suitcase, the one on top. And when I tell you that this suitcase is leaking with pigeon poop, then please believe me. And whatever you imagine it looked like, triple it, and you might be able to get to what it looks like halved. And as you can imagine, I was pretty pissed at it all. So I started doing these things I did in March. I started yelling, I started opening doors and windows abruptly, I started making noises to scare it away. But the thing is, that pigeon was persistent. He didn't want to give up, and I have to give that to him, which I understand. I also would not want to be out in the rain, but babe, have some respect for God's sake. And I did these tactics for a couple of weeks with no result. And the thing is, I didn't know what to put on top of my suitcase. First of all, because it was all covered in shit. And second of all, because I tried putting a couple of shoe boxes, but that greedy little bird pushed them over to the ground, and I just know he enjoyed thinking that he outsmarted me. I swear to God, I was getting so angry. I was on the verge of crying. And last week, On Saturday, I went out on my balcony while he wasn't there, and I took so many boxes and filled every nook and cranny so that there's no access to anything between the wardrobe and the ceiling. And I guess he saw me doing this, and Bestie came in flying like a rocket and tried to sneak in to get to the suitcase. And like he was doing it as I was putting the last box. And then I did my thing first so that he couldn't get in. And I enraged him. And oh, how I enraged him. He attacked me. That stupid little bomb started flying towards my head, making screaming, attacking noises. And I just ran and screamed, and I was so scared because that's not how I'm supposed to go. Defeated by a pigeon that shat all over my property. He came over multiple times trying to find a place to land on, and he succeeded. The boxes I had put had weighted down the suitcase and had opened up like a 5-centimeter wide hole, and he moved in there. But I wasn't going to tolerate it. Like, I was so fed up. I was genuinely getting so pissed at this point because there were just 2 more nice days according to the forecast, and I wanted to use my balcony. Also, how am I supposed to take out my drying rack with my freshly washed clothes when they will most definitely be pooped all over? I wasn't going down without a fight. I found some other cardboard boxes. I put them there, and lo and behold, it finally worked. He was gone. And he has been gone for a couple of days now, and I have never felt happier. I managed to clean my entire balcony. My suitcase I will simply throw away when I find something appropriate to store my things in. And I'm just glad to report that this year I successfully evicted pigeon intruders twice so far. We don't know, like there's a couple more months left of 2024, and knowing how ignorant they are and how greedy they are, they might be back and they might unite forces and they may end up actually taking me down. So if this ends up actually being the last time you hear from me, just know I fought and I tried. And but overall, jokes aside, I hope I never have to do this again. Now, going on my balcony, I don't feel fear. Although the first couple of days I did because that bestie had attacked me. But because I was out on my balcony just studying, and see, the thing is, the first few days I was out just studying on using my chair and my table, and the pigeon, either out of force of habit or just chiming in to see if something has changed and if I decided to welcome him with open arms, like SZA said. So yeah, while I was out studying, he would just fly over and land on the edge of the ceiling and just stare at me. And I won't lie to you, I did feel scared that he was going to poke my eyes out, but I had to stand my ground. So every time he came over, I just yelled at him. And the last couple of days, I have been pigeon-free. And what a way to live. What a thrill. You know how they say that pigeons are potentially government spies? I think I just saved myself from potential, what is it called? When they send people who are not from the country back to their home countries. What is it called? I potentially saved myself from deportation by deporting this pigeon. I don't ever want to go back to that reality that I used to live. So to that pigeon and every pigeon in existence and every pigeon that will ever exist, don't ever come near my house again. I swear to God, I will fight you even if that is the last thing I do. And if you think that this is the only animal I have had to deal with in this house, you better believe you're wrong. So, the house I'm currently living in is slowly but surely turning into a zoo. And maybe I am slowly but surely turning into a Dr. Dolittle. Or maybe a Cinderella, and it is just all the animals trying to, be part of my existence. But the week before I came back, my housemates texted me that there is a cat that somehow got into the house, and it isn't showing any signs of intentions to leave. Okay, signs of intentions sounds like the concepts of a plan. Anyways, we won't be discussing politics today. We said it, lighthearted content. So, that cat, apparently it just came and went as it pleased. And it apparently walked in through the windows or the front door, because one of my housemates said that she might have left the front door open, which thank God we weren't robbed. I mean, it's not like I own a lot of stuff, because I am quite literally on the brink of poverty. But hey, don't take my... I don't even know what. Don't take my diary. No, wait, now that I said it, it's going to become targeted. No. Retract statement. Anyways, so yeah. And at first, when they told me all those stuff, I was amused by it all. But then I came back here and I had to face the cat on my own. And now let me tell you how that happened. Now, one night, I'm going upstairs to the bathroom to shower. And I shower pretty late at night because I just loved taking a concerningly hot shower and then immediately going to bed. Something about it feels so cozy and relaxing. And as every other day that I have done this, I am peacefully going up the stairs, suspecting nothing, and I enter the bathroom. I take off my clothes. Don't you be imagining this, creeps. But I take off my clothes and I turn around and I just scream. Because I hadn't seen that the cat was on the counter, just sitting there watching me. And the thing is, I wasn't expecting it to be there. It was my very first encounter with it. And the scream I screamed... Well, we don't talk about Bruno. But you know that show, Naked and Afraid? Yeah, I lived that show. Because how am I to expect that there will be an animal in the bathroom when I live in a house with supposedly no pets? Because if my landlords found out that we have a pet, and by the way, we don't, although my landlords don't speak English, so they would never listen to this. But if we had a pet, we would be evicted. How many times have I said the word evicted in this episode? Oh my God. Take a shot for every time I've said evicted. Evicted. Yeah. And I didn't want to leave the bathroom. But of course I wasn't going to shower with a cat in the bathroom. So I had to put in some effort, but I eventually kicked it out successfully. I have no clue where it went. It went on a side quest. It went, I don't know, because the thing is, it wasn't in the house later. I don't know how it got out. I don't even know how it got in the bathroom, which is technically on the 3rd floor with no ladders or balconies around it. I don't know, and I don't care, as long as it doesn't show up again. My housemate offered that we buy it food and take care of it, but I'm not doing this. Because if we do, she is never leaving. And here's the thing. And okay, me being a dog person, let's put this to the side for a second. Because even if it was a dog, I would have reacted the same way. I am not cleaning after a cat. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't care. Also, I can barely afford to buy food for myself, let alone for someone else. And lastly, there are no stray animals in the Netherlands, which means that this cat is someone's, and I don't want to steal someone's cat. I know how crazy worried I am when Luke runs away for a couple of hours. I don't even want to think about the long term. And why would I? Knowing how painful it is to sit and worry if your pet, your actual child and sibling, is out there alive somewhere, or if someone stole them, or a car ran over them. No, that cat knows where it came from, and it doesn't belong with us. It belongs back home with its family who love her and miss her and care for her. I haven't seen the cat in a while, to be honest, and I don't know if she just got into my housemate's room and not mine, but if that's the case, I don't care. I just don't want it in my room. I don't know that cat. I cannot take care of her. I'm just genuinely unable to do this at this stage of my life. I'm not able to take care of anyone but myself. And to be honest, I can barely take care of myself either. And it would just be unfair to take on the responsibility of taking care of an animal when I'm unable to provide it with a good life. One of my goals in life is to adopt as many animals as possible, but I need to be in a position where I'm able to show up for them. Because what is the point of promising to take care of something or someone and then not do it? It is doing further damage and is simply unfair and evil. So if that cat sticks around, I hope it at least eats the mice that are in the house. When I told you that this house is turning into a zoo, I meant it, literally. Anyway, so guys, yesterday I PMS'd in a way I haven't PMS'd in forever. I was so sensitive and terribly emotional, and I couldn't get a grip on myself, and all I could do is cry to the stupidest, uncryable to things. Let me tell you what happened. So first of all, the morning started off terribly because my neighbors are being so extremely and terribly annoying. I don't know if they're moving out or they're simply doing reconstruction, but I kid you not, for the past week, every single day, for hours on end, starting very early in the morning, they have been drilling away. And it feels like they're drilling my brain at this point. It is so annoying. And I swear to God, I cannot even hear my own thoughts. It's like they're there in the room with me. And I find that doing this in the early hours of the morning is extremely disrespectful and ignorant. And if they do continue to do this, I will Karen the heck out and either go yell at them or simply call the police. I mean, I won't call the police because I am scared, but I will go and talk to them nicely and ask them to stop. I am never like this usually, But this has been going on for a week now, every single day. And at least if you're going to do such lengthy and loud renovations, let your neighbors know. That is the least you could do. Have some decency. Because back home, I used to live in an apartment building. And there have been many problems with the retirement home downstairs, but let's leave this for another story time. But whenever my neighbors would do reconstruction, they would just let us know. Because you are living in a family neighborhood, people might have children, people might be working from home, and it is absolutely disrespectful to at least not give a heads up. Because I get it, you have no choice. Reconstructions are allowed. They are a lengthy process. It's not a one and done. But I would be reacting one way if you let me know in advance, and I would be carrying out if you didn't even bother to give a heads up. I'm not stupid. I know that those things take time and make noise. But just be a decent human being and give out a warning. Yesterday was literally the last drop. It was so annoying. So I was just doing my morning workout and I couldn't hear anything from the YouTube instructor, even though I had turned up my volume to a concerning level. And yesterday, I had decided that I will do some yoga. And yoga is supposed to be relaxing. It is supposed to be bringing you peace and harmony and unity between the mind and the body. Well, you better believe that when someone is drilling your brain, it is very difficult to concentrate on your breathing. I kid you not. Maybe, you know what? I did achieve the unity between the mind and the body because the thoughts I thought about those people and how much I swore. I've never sworn so much in my life. But also the unity with the physical. And I fear my middle fingers might be stuck up forever from how much I was showing them to my neighbors. I am all about peace and love, but damn it, that was unbearable. This morning, I actually woke up early to go study in the library because I couldn't bear a single second more living above those people. You better believe that if they are actually not moving out and just simply doing reconstruction and are living there, I will become the most annoying, terrible, loud, unbearable upstairs neighbor in the history of upstairs neighbors. Then the entire day, my entire body hurt after yoga, especially my right hip joint and my shoulder were killing me. The one time I tried to stretch, the one time I'm like, let's work on flexibility, let's work on mobility, and I'm unable to move afterwards. No, but they hurt concerningly bad. At a certain point, I even had to limp to release the pain. I used to be a gymnast for over a decade. What happened to me? I'm getting so old, it's not even funny. You're getting old when you're carrying out to your neighbors because they're doing what every person has done at least once in their life. When a single stretch is making you disabled for the next 48 hours. And when you cannot wait for Thursdays because that is when the new little weekly brochure comes out. That's adulthood. What can I say? Then I went to work for the entire day and I got home around 9-ish. And I was so extremely hungry. But my housemate was in the kitchen for over an hour and I couldn't get any food. And I didn't want to snack because I had just gone grocery shopping with the intention of this one particular meal. And when you're looking so much what is going on with my English today? When you're looking forward to have one specific thing that nothing else will bring you even an ounce of satisfaction. I swear to God, that hungriness, that hunger, what is the word for? Anyway, so that thing, that state of being hungry was on an entirely new level. Because here's the thing. I know that this kitchen is as much mine as it is my housemates. Housemates. I really am unable to speak English now. Well, to be honest, it is 2 a.m. So I should be sleeping right now. But anyways, so that kitchen is as much mine as it is theirs. And they can spend however much time they want there. It is just so much was building up throughout the entire day that this was the last straw. And I was about to explode. Because my entire body hurt from yoga and work. I had worked for 8 hours straight with a 15-minute break, dealing all day with annoying customers. My neighbors were walking on my last nerves. And then I couldn't even eat anything for the next over an hour. I swear to God, in that moment, I felt like I could easily beat up Mike Tyson and get him to apologize to me. One day, I promise that one day I will have a place of my own, and I will have my own kitchen. I will have my own fridge and my own oven, my own stoves, my own sink. I will have my own bathroom with a washing machine, and it will be beautiful. And it will be me who decides whether that things get to be shared or not. I will have this, I promise to you. Maybe not in this economy. Maybe if 2008 repeats itself, although can you not? Because we're already struggling. Please don't deepen the problem. But if one day I become a homeowner, or even if I'm just renting and get to live on my own, I will never, ever take it for granted. I promise you that. Because here's the thing. Hungry me is someone else. And even I am scared of her. I don't know who she is. She is unpredictable. She doesn't like to be messed with. And she becomes so irrational and senseless that she will say and do things that I have to pay for later. And I believe that if I'm hungry and I'm by myself, there's nobody to lash out on. It will just be purely my problem. And what a lovely privilege to have your problems be your problems. So yeah, then while I was waiting to get access to the kitchen, I went to wash my hair and my hairbrush broke. And that part, the part with the teeth of the hairbrush or whatever you call them, it got stuck in my wet hair and the handle was just in my hand. And I started uncontrollably sobbing. I swear, it is always the smallest little thing that turns the boat upside down, and I just couldn't stop. Then I watched the rom-com, and I again couldn't stop crying for I don't know what time that day. Even though it was a comedy movie. I need to sneeze right now so bad. I cannot. No, I think I will. No, I can't. Oh my God. I hate this feeling, and I hate this when you have to sneeze so much and you just simply cannot. But the thing is, I couldn't stop crying yesterday while watching this rom-com. It was what to expect when you're expecting, and I just couldn't stop crying. I don't know. I just couldn't. And before bed, I'm scrolling on Instagram as an unhealthy mind does. And I come across this reel of a bird. And it wasn't a pigeon, which is what made me really empathize with it. Because if it was a pigeon, I would have just simply scrolled. But it was some sort of a wingless bird that I don't know. I don't think it lost its wings. I think they were underdeveloped, or maybe it was just born without wings. I don't know. And it just used its beak to attach many trees, an entire forest to the side of a mountain, and then jumped from the rock and started free falling. But because of the way the trees are attached to the mountain, it looked like it was falling. It wasn't falling, but it looked like it was flying, which is all that little tiny cute bird wanted. And oh my God, I'm even tearing up right now just thinking about it. Like, I ugly cried to this reel for 15 minutes. Like the type of cry that your eyes just burn and you see nothing and your nose gets stuffed. It wasn't okay. I literally cried myself to sleep after this reel. I just couldn't handle it. I will link it I don't know how to link reels. I'll figure it out. I will try to get that. I'll post it on my story. You guys go on @DirtyMartiniPod and I'll post it on my story. And I just want us to cry together. Let's unite in our empathy. Let's unite in our empathy towards that bird, because it was so small and dainty, and it had a dream and dedicated its life to achieving that dream, knowing that that dream would cost its life. No, stop. I need to stop right now, or I will go down into a spiral again. And I cannot do this for a second day in a row, because feeling my feelings, emoting my emotions is so much different than hyperanalyzing them and explaining them and nibbling at them rationally, and it's very foreign, and I don't feel comfortable doing this right now. So no. You know what? I think that this is enough for today. But before I go though, I would just like for a second to collect myself and express my gratitude. Today's episode is a bit special for me personally because, as I mentioned, it is number 30. And, a round number and quote-unquote anniversary one, which is just like crazy to think about. That I have already produced 30 episodes, that I have shown up 30 consecutive weeks, that you have shown up 30 consecutive weeks, which means that I have been doing this, that we have been doing this for over half a year right now. And I know in the grand scheme of things, half a year, it doesn't sound like much. That sounds like nothing. Like such a short amount of time. Okay, it is very interesting because I started out this journey with the intention to just have an outlet where I can vent as much as I want about whatever I wanted. And initially I thought that I would let some sort of social anxiety or embarrassment get to me and make me delete everything. But I'm so glad that didn't happen. And I'm so glad that things are playing out the way they are. And genuinely never expected myself to stick around for that long, which is weird because I knew I would stick out that long. My mind is complicated. But still, to be as passionate, if not even more passionate than I was when I first started in March, I don't know, it's inexplainable. And I would just like to thank every single one of you who has listened. Even if you listen to just one episode. Even if you just listen to a minute of one episode. Thank you. It means more than you know. Okay, bye. I'll start crying again. So, can I just get my period already? Anyways, no, wait. I want my period to wait until after graduation, which is in 2 days. So, please wait until then. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you stick around for the next 30 as well. Until then, I would just like to say, evicted. Stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye.